Hi everyone. Thank you very much, Alex, for inviting me today. Really happy to be here. So I'm Xavier. I'm the founder and CEO of Zenchef. We are a bookings and online marketing SaaS solution for restaurants. And today I'm here, as Alex said, to talk about how we scaled our sales team from 0 to 2,500 customers in the last 3 years. To start, I would say that all SaaS startups are not made equal. You probably all know that. But it's even more true when you work with restaurants and local businesses in general. And you will see why in a few seconds. But first, I'd like to introduce you to our customers. This picture has been taken a few days ago in our office in Paris. We have invited a few restaurants, users of Zenchef in our office to talk with them. And these customers has specificities. They are not tech savvy. You can't see this from this picture, but I can tell you that these people are really not tech savvy. They don't talk to each other. They work separately. There are just a few organizations for restaurants. They basically work independently. And they are very different in every city, region. You can't compare a restaurant owner in Paris and a restaurant owner in Milan or in Berlin. And even in France, you can't compare a restaurant who's in Marseille or in Lyon. So that requires a lot of adaptability. So this is SaaS for restaurants. And most people think it's unscalable. And they are probably true. In most cases, it's really, really hard to scale a SaaS business that addresses restaurants and local businesses in general. So today, in the next few minutes, I will try to share a few techniques and a few learnings I learned in the last 3 years trying to scale this business. So today, Zenchef has 2,500 customers in 4 countries. We finished last year at 2.5 million of AR, and we raised 8 million euros so far. First, back in 2012, we were only 3 co-founders, 2 business guys, 1 tech guy, and the first thing we do was trying to sell a product. But the only problem we had is that we didn't have any product. But that was really important. So what we did is just prepare a PowerPoint presentation and try to sell mock-ups. So we went doing door-to-door for 2 months with my co-founder, and we signed 50 customers without any product. So we went back to the office and said to Julian, our third co-founder and CTO, okay, now we can start building the product. And it's really important when you work with restaurants because you don't really know first what they need. So it's a big mistake to work in the back for a few months or years before to release your product. And then it will prove yourself that you want to work with restaurants and local businesses in general because it's kind of the same. And as it's really hard, you need to like and to love actually to sell and to do sales. So we signed these 50 first customers. We asked them to sign us checks, and we told them that we'll deliver the product 2 months later. So that's what we did. And the next step of our growth was to hire our first sales representatives. So we hired the first 3 sales. We got to 8 sales reps in a few months, doing cold calling, appointments, physical appointments, with PDF basically and Excel files. We didn't have any real process at the time. And the 3 main learnings about this first year of selling and hiring our first sales reps was field sales cost a lot of money. And it doesn't scale because you just need to open city by city, so that makes your growth very slow. And for us, our cost of acquisition was even higher than the average revenue per user. So in terms of economics, it was not working. And at the same time, we were trying to raise our first seed round. And the first VCs we met all told us, we don't invest in car fleets. We don't want to pay for hotel nights. You're selling a very low price product, so it's not scalable to have field sales. So that was the first issue we encountered trying to grow our business. But as we were a little bit stubborn, we found crazy people who accepted to invest 300k euros from their own money in the company. And it was the next phase of our growth, and we needed to scale our sales operations. So at the same time, and it was really random, we decided to start using Salesforce. And what shocked me in the process of buying Salesforce was that the sales guy didn't offer any physical appointment. All the sales process during the 1 month of discussions with Salesforce was done remotely. And I didn't even know it was possible to sell a SaaS product remotely at the time. I was thinking that Salesforce was a very complex product, even more complex than ours. So if they could do this, we could do it as well. So I tried to sell myself, actually. We had our field sales doing their job every day, but I stayed in my office during 1 month trying to sell to restaurants on the phone. And actually, after 1 month, I sold more contracts than my best sales rep on the field. And I was doing this only 50% of my time. So that was a real revelation for me. Then we had a new problem. It was really hard to get appointments with restaurants because they get really harassed all day by salespeople trying to sell them everything from food to now digital services. So we tried a technique that worked great, that was basically give before to sell. So instead of calling restaurants to get appointments to present our product, we tried to call them to offer them an online free visibility report. And so instead of trying to sell them something, we just called them to tell them, okay, we have prepared this online visibility report. You will get valuable information about how your restaurant is visible online. It's free. It's a free consultation with one of our experts, and it takes only 50 minutes on the phone. And so, boom, we multiplied by 4 our conversion rate from contacts to demos. One advice and one learning from this is try to give something before you try to sell your product. And then we needed to scale our operations. So we started measuring everything. So we had before a talk about KPIs, but we became really obsessed about what was our conversion rate from contacts to demos, from demos to demos done, actually, because we had a lot of cancellations with restaurants, and from demos done to converted demos into new customers. So that was really important. We started using Salesforce to do that. And also we tried to process like everything in the business, from the scripts, from the hiring processes. We started to evaluate our sales regularly. Every month they passed a test, so that we can check they have the right methodology to sell the products. So we became really obsessed about processes, because that's really important when you have a very low average revenue per customer. You need to track everything to optimize every stage of the funnel. And the last stage, close to where we are today, is the lead gen and sales specialization role stage. So to scale the business, we need leads, because we can't do only cold calling. It's not enough, and we can't scale internationally. So as many startups, we tried AdWords, we tried all traditional lead generation channels, but it didn't work at all, because instead of just trying to see who are our buyers, we tried to replicate what other SaaS businesses were doing. But it was wrong. It was a mistake. So instead of doing this, we visited our customers and asked them what were the channels, how we could talk to them, what was they was reading, who were the companies they were working with, sorry. And we discovered that the main day-to-day interlocutors for restaurants are their suppliers, the companies that sell food to them, for example. So we tried to build partnerships with these suppliers, and it worked great, because today it's our first lead generation channel. This is something that's really not conventional. But the learning from this is that you can't just try to replicate things that work somewhere else. You need to find what's the best way to talk with your customers. And sales specialization. As a football team, after having more than 15 sales reps, we needed to specialize their roles. So today we have clear missions for all of them. Some are dedicated to cold calling, some are doing the demos and closing, and we also have an account management team. So that's what most sales teams are doing in a more mature stage. But for us, it had a really great impact on our cost of acquisition because we could dedicate the more experienced sales on closing deals. So the investment of their salary was better attributed, and we could hire more younger sales development representatives to do the cold calling. And the overall cost of acquisition decreased by doing this. So as Gail Goodman said, she's the CEO of Constant Contacts, selling email marketing for $30 a month to local businesses. Doing SaaS for local businesses can be called the slow SaaS ramp of death. That means it's really hard to scale, but it's possible. It just takes a lot of time, and you need to optimize everything constantly. So to conclude this presentation, the 5 key learnings. Investors will ask you to sell before to build your product because you need to prove yourself and the others that you can sell to this category, very specific category of customers before to raise money. SaaS for local businesses consumes a lot of cash because today, as it's not a mature market, all traditional acquisition channels don't work. So you need to have sales teams and it costs a lot of money. So be prepared to raise a lot of money. And most SaaS sales and marketing strategies do not work. So don't try to replicate things that work in other SaaS businesses. And local businesses need SaaS solutions. They won't buy your just small Chrome plugin. They need a full solution. You need to bring a lot of value to convince them. And last, be obsessed with optimization, doing tests, and optimize your funnel all the time. That was the presentation. Thank you very much.